Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whiskey. My name's Vin PF, and on today's episode we're going back to Cotswolds to have another look at one of their new releases. I should say at the top of the show, a massive thank you for them for sending this over to me for review. It's always wonderful to work with the Cotswolds. At the moment, my nearest producer with Whisky, that's going to change pretty soon actually. I think another one, Spirit of Birmingham, they've just turned 3, but yeah, they haven't got anything out just yet. But still, right now, technically speaking, my nearest distillery with Whisky. But yeah, let's get into this and see what we got. Now, you'll notice here on the thumbnail as well, usually I hold the bottle up. This time I held the tube up, which is something I really rarely do, and I've put it up on the table today as well, which again is something I really rarely do. Main reason behind that is because I'm not really a kind of packaging guy. You know, you'll notice on the shelf here behind me that's all stripped of all packaging. I'm not someone who keeps the tube or the boxes or anything like that. There's some exceptions to the rule, of course, you know, something particularly fancy. But when I see good packaging, I do like to highlight it. So yeah, you can see from the bottle's like, I mean, it's fairly plain really, isn't it? Just like the other Harvest series, they're going for the whole white vibe. Mixes in quite well with the other ones on the shelf. The tube, however, has this lovely, I'm going to say oil painting. I'm not sure exactly the media that was used here, but done by local artist Lucy Pratt, which is absolutely stunning. Love it, and the other ones were the same as well. Really nice, and it just suits the kind of Harvest series. And what they're trying to do with this series is kind of blend in what the Cotswolds vibe is, you know, as an actual region area of outstanding natural beauty. If you ever get to go, it really is that. You know, I mean, I live in a fairly big city, about 45 minutes away from the Cotswolds, and as I'm driving to it, the landscape gets steadily better until you literally turn into a road, and then you're covered in houses with that sandstone, Cotswold sandstone, and it's just a really nice place to be. So yeah, being the Harvest series, the bottles tend to kind of go with a different vibe. You know, this one's going for a more autumnal vibe, which is where we're at in the current cycle of the year. So that fits in perfectly as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this tube now, and we'll just stick to the actual bottle itself, get it nice and lined up, and we'll get into it. Now, obviously this one's called the Amber Meadow. It's the third release. There's 1,500 bottles of this, and it's going for 100 UK pounds, which we'll get into the value a little bit later on. Now, the Cotswolds whiskey creator, Alice, she wanted to make something that was a little bit more light and floral than previous settings. So this one's got a very interesting cask makeup. They've got it's ex-bourbon, a little bit of ex-peated, but I think the real star of the show here is a marriage of ex-muscatel casks. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know much about muscatel. I don't think I've ever drank a glass of muscatel wine at all, but from basic research I can tell you that it's a fortified wine based on the Moscatel grape, not a region necessarily. So a very basic research, but I think you can pretty much make this wherever you want. So it's quite a prevalent wine in the States, so Wikipedia says. Trustworthy source and all of that. But yeah, very interesting. It's 51.6%. It's natural coloured, non-chill filtered, all of those things we like. Best thing to do then is pretty much just get straight into the glass and see what we've actually got. Now, we can talk a bit about colour. So it's actually fairly light, you know, it's got a really nice golden colour to it, but yeah, it's just good looking stuff. Let's get onto the nose and see what we got. Okay, that's interesting. Now, obviously, knowing the fact that they've gone for a little bit of a lighter character, I'm expecting that. And so it is, you know, it's very light, very floral. Bags of honeys, very fruity as well. We're talking like hedgerow fruit, that sort of thing. Really lovely. It's an absolute far cry away from the kind of STR casks that they're well known for using, but I'm there for it. It's good. Let's try on the palate. Wow, okay. So, actually, surprisingly amount to unpick on this. So, yes, as expected, it's quite light, it's quite fragrant, it's quite sweet. For me, it's the two major flavours are citric orange and honey as well, like a deep sort of Manuka honey, that, you know, the kind of fancy honey that you can get. Interestingly enough, even though I know that there's some peated casks in here, I'm not getting any smoke or any kind of peat on it at all. When I say peated casks, they don't make any peated spirit yet, so they rely on ex-peated casks to get that kind of flavour profile in. So already it's not going to be that prevalent anyway. But yeah, what I think it's doing in this is providing a very subtle spicy pepperiness to it. Like, when I say spicy, I mean kind of like, yeah, like peppery, a little bit of chili pepper flake in the back on it. But it's very light, very understated. But that's what I think that peated cask is doing, just bringing an extra layer to it. But the sweetness, the fruity, the citric, all coming through lovely together. Again, I can't sit here and say that's what the Moscato cask is doing, because I'd need to try some, really. I'm no no broad knowledge on every kind of alcohol, unfortunately, so I can't really go into that. But yeah, it's just really well put together. Now, I know what a lot of you will be thinking. £100 is a lot of money. Yes, it is a lot of money. Questions will be asked, would I have spent it if I hadn't been sent the bottle? I don't know is the truth. What I can tell you is that, as you would have seen on my Whisky and Whiskey Out this week, I did buy a 125 quid bottle from there, which was a fill your own bottle from the cask kind of vibe one. So yes, I have been known to spend that sort of money at the Cotswolds distillery and at various distilleries. Not often, I will say, not often. However, if you are a fan of the Cotswolds and you've been buying the previous ones, then you're going to definitely enjoy this. You know, the other two were fantastic, same as this one. They've kept the same price this year as those as well, and that's probably going to go forwards. Yeah, it's the fairest thing to say is that you probably will have made your decision on that price point already. Triple figures is a scary thing, so you'll either already think that's too much or not. It is the truth about it. If you get to try it, you'll probably understand why. There's, it's an expensive way to make whiskey. I don't know, man. It's good whiskey, so you have to kind of decide for yourself if you think it's going to go or not. All I can tell you is that the previous two have sold out without any problems, I don't think. So I'm pretty sure this one will as well. So there are definitely 1,500 people out there that are willing to spend that sort of money. But yeah, hopefully you get to try it. And if not, keep an eye on the Cotswolds, because they're putting out new stuff all the time. Absolutely fantastic stuff. But yeah, for me, really enjoying that. Hopefully you are too if you picked up a bottle. Let me know below if you're into it or not. And we'll have a chat. But yeah, I'll say cheers to you, and I'll see you again on more videos soon.